Hi everyone, it's Summer with AstariaSen, and we are back for another Witchy Wisdoms Wednesdays, and the theme this Wednesday is offerings. I will be doing Faye Offerings. Now, Witchy Wisdoms Wednesdays is a collab with me and 5 other beautiful ladies who talk different perspectives on the same theme. I will have a playlist at the end of this video that you can go check out that has all of the Witchy Wisdom Wednesday videos in it, not just mine, but everybody's who's participated over the course of since we started back a few months ago. I think there's like 70 videos now. And then in the description, I will leave links to the people who are currently participating, the 5 other ladies who are currently participating, as well as some links to some books and other things that I'm going to talk about in this video. So first up, Fae Offerings. So I have read a few books and been trying to work with the Fae for the last year or so, since I started down my path pretty much. Now, I consider myself spiritually just pagan, eclectic pagan with Fae tendencies, because I'm very interested in what the Fae are doing and why they do the things that they do, and enjoy their company. So it's not a matter of me worshiping them in any way, shape, or form. I don't feel the offerings that I provide are a form of worship necessarily. It's more of a fair exchange kind of thing. There are 2 books that are sitting beside me that I'm going to show you that do talk about Fae Offerings, Faery Offerings, and I've done videos on these books in the past, so I will go ahead and leave links up here to them as I talk about them. But I wanted to show you what I actually provide for my Fae, for my Faery Offerings. And so I've got a lot of stuff just like sitting in front of me too. So this could get really interesting. Okay. Also, I'm going to be showing you some really cool things that I do. Like, for example, I just recently made a Fairy Offering box. I'm an artist, so I work with polymer clay, I sculpt, and I do a lot of different things, but I just started this Fae Offering box that I'm going to be using on my altar, or when I go places. I mean, it's small, so it can go with me if I wanted to. And it's simple because I like simple. I like simple things. That's a fairy star on top. It's got this really cool, like, shimmery glitter effect on it. I added some gemstones, and then I added some sigils that go into it as well, but I really love the fairy star and I like purple. So I painted a metallic purple. The top part is actually polymer clay on the top that I just did the design of the fairy star in. I was going to do a video on it, but for some reason the video didn't record properly, so sorry about that. But you know, that's not all I do. You can use anything. It doesn't matter at all. I do all sorts of different boxes. So as an artist, I have boxes you can use for offerings for any number of things, or just crystals or whatever else. The point is that when you put your intent into something, when you put your intent into it, it means a lot more to whoever you're giving the offering to, whether it be deities, fae, self-love, anything like that. When it comes with intent and meaning behind it, it provides a much more profound bond. So with that in mind, I'm going to show you some of the boxes I've done, and I also have a giveaway for one of my boxes that I've sculpted. So I will tell you guys about that after I tell you guys about offerings, okay? And then I'll show you the rest of my boxes too, because I like my boxes. All right, so first up, Fae Offerings. The first book that I'm going to talk about is John T. Crew's Fairy, A Guide to the Lore, Magic, and World of the Good Folk. Now this one, he doesn't go into a lot of details about Fae Offerings, but one thing that he does talk about is how there's always this thing that you shouldn't say thank you to the Fae, and there are certain gifts you shouldn't give, like say clothing or something like that, because there's a sense of obligation there, and Fae don't like feeling obligated. They are very fickle, and they do what they want, and they only associate if they want to associate. There are fae, like brownies and sprites and stuff like that, who like being attached to families and homes, and who like providing services to that family and home, and they don't require much but some milk and some honey maybe. But the idea that they're obligated to do something kind of puts them in a sour mood, if that makes any sense. And he does talk about it in this book. But let's see, he talks about how, I'm going to read you this one little paragraph. It says, there is one anomalous account from Dartmoor of coins being left out for the pixies at night. Nevertheless, paying for the work to be done by the fae is not how the relationship functions, and to attempt to commercialize it will virtually always prove to be a bad idea. And he puts references down here about where he finds his information as well. And a lot of what he talks about in his book is fae related, but the offering part is very small, and it's more an idea of respect and understanding to build a relationship with the fae, not so much you did this for me, so I'm going to give you this in return. They're going to help you if they want to, whether there's an offering or not. And they're not as interested in our lives as we might be in theirs. I mean, some of them can be mischievous, and they're like any other being, and they get playful, and they get fickle, and they get all sorts of pixie-ish, where they steal things, or they might lead people astray, or those kinds of things. And there are bad fae too. There are fae that are not so nice, not so polite, not so anything. They only wish to do harm. So when you work with the fae, understand that you are working with a being that has no obligation to you, pretty much under any circumstances. And so up here will be a link for that book, the review I did on it, which you will get way more information on. And down in the description, I will do a link to where you can buy his book. The other book is Emily Carding's book, and she talks a lot more about offerings. In her book, she talks a lot about that offering is more a gift of energy. So her gift of energy is, or that offerings are a gift of energy. So there's that intent behind it. And I'm really energy based. So energy is really important. And I wrote some things down about that because everything has energy. So the water has energy. You have energy. The table that you work on has energy. Your altar has energy. Anything that is around you is going to have some form of energy to it. So when you're giving offerings, what they take is the energy from the offering. They're not so much taking the actual item so much as the energy that's from the offering. And then, you dispel with the actual offering and all sorts of other ways that are possible. Cindy actually talks about ways that in this collaboration, Cindy from That Tarot Lady actually talks about ways to get rid of the offerings, or how you might go about reusing offerings, I guess. So anyways, she talks about the energy that you use that to build the relationship when you're doing offerings. Okay, so here she talks about some suggestions, important do's and don'ts. So she has literally lists of things you could do for offerings, which include cakes and breads, milk, honey, incense you can do. I don't prefer to do incense. Cream, a bowl of cream. You can do alcohol too. The Fae really like music and song and poetry and stuff like that. So I've actually done an offering of a poem once during a full moon. They like dance. They like creative stuff and the arts. And shiny things, of course, flowers. And they like stealing shiny things and stuff like that. I'm not so much, she does talk about bodily fluids in this, but I'm not so much into the bodily fluids of that. And then she talks about things to not give the Fae, which I really like about this book too. So there is an idea of the Fae being these glittery, fluttery creatures. But the Fae are more than just glittery, fluttery creatures. There's all sorts of different kinds of Fae. And offerings to them should pertain more to the kind of relationship you want with the Fae. I personally do not offer glitter. It's harmful to the environment. It's harmful to animals. I like glitter and I use glitter in things, but I don't use it as an offering. I don't want it necessarily in my trash, and I don't want it where my cat can get to it and lick on it or anything like that. So if I do glitter, it'd be edible glitter. But I haven't ever offered glitter to the Fae. I've offered stones, like little quartz stones, or different kinds of small stones, like little tiny ones, like chips almost. I've offered plants. I have a plant on my Fae altar right now that is an offering, and I help it grow, and it's like a continual bond between me and the energy I'm trying to bond with the Fae. I also do peanuts. Now, the funny part about the peanuts is when I was doing the Emmeline carding book, because it's actually kind of like a workbook, like how to connect with the Fae kind of thing, which is a whole series on my channel, which I'll leave a link to up here. But I had to go into myself. I had to do some meditations. I had to find a fairy guide and stuff like that. And I found one, and his name is Spirit, and for some reason he really likes peanuts. So when I do offerings, I will offer him peanuts. The other thing I do is, it's courtesy and polite and respectful to offer the first of something, not something you've already eaten off of. So if I do bread, it would be the first pieces of the bread, not the third piece of the bread after I've already had some. So I have breadcrumbs here from bread I handmade that I use as offerings. I have handmade cookies that I've done. This is the first time I've actually made handmade cookies, so I have them. They are peanut butter cookies. They're like a 3-ingredient peanut butter cookie, which is really kind of cool. They taste okay. I enjoyed eating them, and I made small versions so that I could break them up, and I can even leave these outside and it's not harmful to anybody or anything. I also have rose petals that I picked myself, dried myself from the roses that I grow. And like I said, intent and energy is really important whenever you're working with anything, whether it's deity, Fae, self-love, whatever. You need to put that intent energy into it in order to build that relationship, to make it strong, to make it grow and flourish in its own way. The other thing I have is waters. I have sun water right here that I use for Faery Offerings and my other offerings, because I don't do just Fae offerings. There are others that I do offerings to as well. Because like I say, I don't worship the Fae, but I do want their energy near me. And then I have moon water. So there's sun and there's moon water, and I will use those as my daily offerings. So these other ones I will do like with the new moon or the full moon or the dark moon or on special occasions, whereas the moon water and the sun water I can do daily every time I'm at the altar, that trying to make that connection with the Fae. And so for this box, what I'm going to start doing is, since it's nice out and stuff like that, things I collect, I'm going to start putting in here for them. Shiny objects I could put in here for them. And things that I make, I can put in here. And that's not food related, of course. I can put in here for them. And just small things like that. Or keepsakes. Things I want to keep special just for the Fae can be in here. Things that I may not get rid of, but I want associated with my altar or something like that. And the great thing about boxes like these or these is that they just are a box. So if anybody sees them, all they see is a box. They don't know what the box is for. And I'm okay with that, which is why I like mine being really simple. And I really do. I like the simplicity of my boxes. I don't make boxes simple for other people because other people like really elaborate stuff, but my boxes are simple. So that's what I do for my offerings. And I try to connect with them every day. And if I'm going outside, because there you can do Fae offerings outside as well in your gardens or something like that, the offerings can be honey. You can leave honey outside without it harming anything. You can leave bread outside without it harming anything, milk outside without it harming anything. And what I normally do, as long as it's not going to go bad within 24 hours, I will leave the offering out for 24 hours unless I'm called not to. Like, there have been times where I've left an offering, something I've made, for example, on the altar for the entire month. It's not a food object. It was a creative object that I put up there, and then I was asked to burn it. So, I mean, I've done things like that. So it's a matter of what I feel called to do. But if it's food related, I don't go any longer than 24 hours for sure, because that gives them enough time to really come and accept that energy. There's like this fair energy exchange that I feel is there, because not only are you offering this energy to them, there's the fair use of their accepting that energy also as a gift, as a bond between you and the Fae, or you and a deity. So I mean, it's really important that you do put that intent out there in a positive manner. All right, so I need to move some stuff here. Give me just a second. I have all of this stuff I want to show you guys. So for offering boxes and stuff like that, it's really cool. Like I said, I make these boxes. I hand sculpt all of them, and then I hand paint them. So I'm just going to show them to you real quick. There will be a link in the description that you can find these at, and I got a giveaway. So here's the other one that I did. This is probably one of the favorites. And they're just boxes. I mean, you can put whatever you want inside. I mean, these offerings fit just fine inside there. Just to even keep your offerings in, that you may want to keep these somewhere and then be able to put it on your altar later. So it could just hold your offerings if you wanted, or it can actually be an offering box or a manifestation box. This one's one of my favorites. I'm having one of those days, I tell you what. But this one's one of my favorites. And I hand sculpted everything, even the indents. I did all of that by hand. These will go up for sale in August, by the way. And these are what they look like before I paint them, when I've just sculpted them, just so you can see the differences. I mean, there's a pretty big difference. I put a lot of work into them. And then the one that's for the giveaway. So if you want to enter the giveaway, it's available until Saturday, which is August 1st, 2020, okay? And it's on my Facebook page, which I will leave a link to in the description. So be sure to click on it and follow the rules from my Facebook page. So it's called the Wispy Realm Polymer Clay Summer Ross. And this is the giveaway box. Isn't it pretty? So I handed all of this. I put each piece in there individually, all the indents, everything. I did it all by hand. So, yeah, so if you want to enter the giveaway, now's the perfect time to go do it. All you got to do is go over to my page on Facebook and enter. Just make sure you follow the rules, and that's it. That's all there is. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I will do my best to answer any questions. I'm still learning as well, so I will do my best, but I can't make a promise that I know everything that has to do with offerings and the Fae and what you should or should not do. I just know what I do, and I do what feels right to me. And if you're going to work with the Fae, understand that they have no obligation to you. And only work with them if you really feel called to work with them. If you find that you have things that are missing or come up missing, giving them an offering of milk or honey may be just what you need to have all of that calm down in your household. Maybe you have a brownie or a pixie attached to your family or your home who is just looking for your attention. So be aware if you have little things missing that providing an offering could make that stop, and those missing objects could be found again pretty easily. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to watch the other ladies' videos, because they have some really great stuff on theirs too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Fairy blessings.